What's going on? What's going on, people? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Yes, it's a Monday. Yes, it is. It's a Monday. I know. And I also know, and I'm recording it, that the Packers are playing. Matter of fact, they just kicked off. So before I came down here, I did have to check out. I've been looking at kickoff. Both my teams are playing, but when they play each other, I always have to put on my Packers jersey. Always have to put on the Packer jersey. No ifs, ands, or buts. And then whomever Philly plays next, I will put my Philly jersey on, and I will root for Philly. But as long as they're playing the Packers, which they are tonight, I am a Packer fan. Always will be that way. But anyway, people, what's going on? How's it doing? Yeah. We're gonna talk in my native tongue tonight a little bit. We're gonna talk in my native tongue tonight a little bit. Get out of that. We'll probably hit up Ebonics. We'll probably hit up Ebonics big time tonight. Let's see here. So what do we got? So first off, I did put out a list. Got 2 families this year that I figure will drop down to. Well, actually, we had 7. So, and out of that seven, I decided to take 2 out of that 7. And I took 2 of the biggest part of the family, the ones that had a lot of kids and a lot of adults with that. So with that, again, I'm saying we've got some families that we need some help with for Christmas. And I'm putting it out there early because I the thing that I thought was really funny is how people are really shocked. That's what gets me sometimes. And that's why I tell people, just get off your computer for a little bit and go walk your streets. Go up in your churches. Go talk to your normal neighbor that's right there on the street sometimes. Because you get more information off the streets, right? And off of your normal neighbor than you do anywhere. So everybody's been shocked that this lady has been calling churches, right? And I've said this, look, if you've been following me, yes. If you've been following me, I've told y'all over and over how hard it is to get people to just give to somebody. I've told y'all that over and over, especially the ones that you look at their bio and it says Christian on it. Especially those people. When Paul was writing to the Corinthians, right? Y'all really think he was talking to this? See, here's a funny part about the Old and the New Testament that I don't think people really understand. See that New Testament? The New Testament was actually for the sinners in the church that called themselves Christians. That's what the New Testament. Y'all don't get that. Y'all don't get that. That's what it was for. The New Testament isn't for the sinners that's out on the streets. That's not what that ain't what he pretty much talking about. He already God knows the sinners that's out there. He's telling the ones that are in church, the sinners that are in church and calling themselves Christians all the time. Those are the ones he really want. Those are the ones he really trying to get. Because they're worse than the people on the street. At least the people on the street is going to tell you, I'm a sinner. Straight up. Straight up. There was times if you'd have ran into me, I would have tell you straight up, I'm a sinner like you wouldn't believe. I'll tell you today, I'm still a sinner like you wouldn't believe. You get on my nerves enough, there's words that will come out of my mouth. Y'all to sit there and go, but he's a reverend. Oh, better believe. Look, I will not sit here and try to act like I'm something or somebody I'm not. I will not do it. Y'all go mess with the Joel Osteens and the Creflo Dollars and the TD Jakes. Go mess with them. Because they got you fooled, buddy. They got y'all fooled. They got you fooled. I don't have you fooled. That's why I tell people, do not come on my page and thinking that you're going to bully me and I'm just going to turn the other cheek. You're out your mind. If you want to go walk through hell, I'll walk right along with you. I have no problem with that. See, like I told y'all, the difference between me and y'all is I know how to deal with Satan. I know how to deal with him. You punch him in the mouth and they go away. That's usually what happens. I can be as nice as to somebody as you ever want to meet. I can. I have no problem with that. I love people. But the hardest people, and I'm not kidding when I say this. There's people, I can, look, I've got like 26,000 people that follow me, correct? So if I take I'll take 10,000 of those and just say they're bots. Right? Let's say, let's go there. Let's say 15,000 people on my Get Up here are real people. And I guarantee you out of those 15,000 real people, there's probably about 9,000 that consider themselves to be true Christians. Correct? So if I ask the true Christians to help me out with a poor family for Christmas, I shouldn't have a problem, but I do. Out of that 9,000 people that we break it down to be true people, true Christians, I got probably about 8 people that I can count on that if I say I need water, would get me water. If I say I need gloves, hand warmers, can you help me out with coaching? I got about 9 people that I could Spike is the number. Him and my friend Marco. Marco gave to my foundation every time I turn around. There was money coming in from Marco. Every time I turn around, Spike is calling me up, asking me what I need. Chris is another one. Oh, I can name the people. Christian Robinson, who's running for governor right now, is another one. Ranch, R-A-C-H, is another one. What's in it? Hold on. I'll give you another one. I can pretty much name the people I know for sure that will say, you know what, Rev? I got you. Kelly is another one. Kelly Ammo, she's another one. I got you. About 9 people out of 9,000 so-called Christians. So what I'm saying is, when this lady was calling these churches and these churches was turning them down, I was not shocked. I was not shocked. I've been telling you this. I've told you point blank how this thing works. The Democrats looks at it in a way of saying, you know what? My taxes, my tax money It's what the government needs to use to get food to the homeless, to the poor. Right? That's how the Democrats see it. Democrats see it that way. Oh, we give, and the Democrats will feed the poor. I see them, they're down there all the time. They will. And the Democrats will also take from you to go feed the poor, go feed the hungry. Correct? Republicans, boy, there's only a few. There's only, and y'all know it. Y'all know I'm right. I mean, you can sit there and be mad at me if you want. I can prove everything I'm saying to you. I can prove it. Even though Republicans sit there, oh, we're religious and we're Christians and we do this and we do that. It's a damn lie. It is. It is. It's that pull yourself up by your bootstrap mentality. That is what you get from Republicans, certain Republicans. That is what you get. So y'all can't fool me. You can fool the normal person out there, you know, when you try to act like Republicans are these big givers and they do all of this for people or they do this and do that. No, they don't. No, they don't. I've never met a Republican out at a homeless camp, at the shelters. I've never met a Republican ever at a children's shelter, at a woman's shelter, the woman's shelter down there. I've never met a Republican at a shelter. I've never met a Republican on the street giving people, helping people. Never. I have listen to what I'm saying. I have never met a Republican out doing what God tells them to do in that book. And I've been on the streets for years. For years. For years. That's a fact. I've met Democrats, socialists, I've met progressives, whatever, all that what you want to call. I've met Antifa. I've met Antifa members right down there on Glendale Avenue feeding the homeless. But I've never, ever out walking the streets, telling kids to go home, trying to get kids settled, trying to do this here. I've never seen a Republican out helping picking up needles and things of that sort. Never. I've never seen a Republican down there on Shepherd's Road where the homeless people are down there. Barbecuing, cooking, cookouts, any of that. Never. I have never seen a Republican doing what they swear up and down they are, being Christians. That's a fact. Where it says, take care of the oppressed. Where it tells, don't clench your fist up, open your hand. Ain't never seen them. But they're the first ones that swears up and down that they Christians. So when these churches, when this girl is on here talking about these churches, I'm sitting back going, I knew that. That is what you're explaining. And then some of the churches says, well, you have to be a member. I ain't never heard that. I have never heard that. Never. Never. I am my church benevolence. And what I mean by that, if someone needs something in my church, they call me. and we get it taken care of. If that lady had called my church, they would have called me and said, I need you to take care. This lady needs formula. And I would have said, where are you that I can go get it and bring it to you? Have done that on me. Y'all have been right here when I told y'all. I just got back from delivering Pampers. I've got a phone call from a mother, from a single mother saying, hey, I'm out of Pampers for her. Can you go? Boom. Kristen Robinson, Kristen Robinson, the lady who is running for governor right now. Right now. I could call her right now. And say, I need Pampers, and she'll tell me where to go, or she'll say, don't worry about it, I got you. That's how we take care of it. But I was not shocked at these. I was not shocked at these churches that told this lady no. That's how your church worked. I guarantee you, if you, before this started, if you probably would have done the same thing to your church would have probably done the same thing. A lot of churches, that's the way they roll. That's why I tell you all, when I get on here and I say, I'm going to be begging you, because that's what it is. People are not just willing to go, boom, Reb, I got you. Don't worry about it. This is what God tells us to do. I'm a godly person. I got a godly spirit. I'm going to do what my Father tells me to do. And if that tells me to take care of the poor, take care of depression, take care of I'm going to do that. At some point in time, I keep telling people, our Bible says that God just turned it because we ain't getting along. We're not, even the church now, we're not doing what God tells us to do. Go read, if you read your book, in that book, almost everything Jesus is saying when he came down here is about taking care of each other. Read your book. That's the problem. People swear up and down that they're Christian, but they cannot tell you what that book really means. That book, when Jesus is coming here, Jesus said, I want you to get right. No. Read what he says. I want you to get right. And in order for you to get right, you got to obey my Father. Huh? You got to obey the Father. And what the Father wants you to do is be nice. Be nice to your neighbor. Am I my brother's keeper? Be nice to your neighbor. Read the book. Make sure that you take care of the oppressed. Make sure that you take care of the poor. Make sure you take care of the needy. Make sure you take care of the hungry. That's what the book is saying over and over and over and over and over again. And then he says, if you do all of that, guess what? You ain't got nothing to worry about. Because Jesus already said, you can't go with me right now. What did he say? But I'm going to come back and get you. Because there's a mansion. Hello. Y'all missed that, right? I'm going to come back and get you. But until then, this is what I need you to do. I need you to do these things. And if you do those things, and if you love him with all your heart, your might, your soul, you ain't got nothing to worry about. That's what if I was to break the book down to anybody at any point in time, that's it. Plain and simple. Read your book. Do what your book tells you. Don't conform to anything or anybody on this here earth, try not, and try your best not to sin. But if you do, because of my grace and my mercy, and if you turn from your evil ways, do a 180, not a 360, I'm going to forgive you for those sins. That's the book, man. I know we like to bring you into church and put this here big cloud of rainbows all over your head when it comes to it. But at the end of the day, when it's said and done, that's the book. And if you do right, you get to live forever with him. Read your book. But you got to do these things. These simple, easy, simple things. You've got to have that compassion for someone that when God has blessed you so good that you're able to say, you know what, this Christmas, because he's been so good to me all the time, I'm going to go off and I'm going to bless somebody else. Take care of the poor. I'm going to go off and I'm going to pick somebody else's spirit up. Take care of the humble. That's the book in a nutshell, people. That's the book in a nutshell. And if you do those things, you ain't got nothing to worry about, man. You get to live in paradise because you've done those simple things. You have proven to him that I can live in a sinful world, and this is a damn sinful world, boy. I can live, God, I can live in the world that you gave Satan dominion over. I can do what you tell me to do. I can come close to not sinning, but he said we were sinful from the time we was born. But I can live in this sinful, hateful world and come out like I'm supposed to. That's the book, people. That's the book. You can get up on Saturday and turn your TV on and they can give you all this hoopla and all this type of stuff you want. But if you want that book plain and simple, there it is. But again, like I said before, if y'all think these churches, if you done wrapped yourself up in your church, show me somewhere in my Bible where he says, my Lord and my Savior said you need to wrap yourself up in your church. It don't say that. Show me where it says you need to wrap yourself up in your pastor. It don't say that. I wish somebody would come to me and say, Pastor Tim, I'm so into you. I'll be like, get away from me, you heathen. I'm just a messenger. No, bro, don't put that on me. Because it don't say that nowhere. He who is in all of us is who you are to wrap yourself into. Not your church. Don't be so holy, old goody, my church this and my church that. Your church is full of sinners. Sinners built your church. Sinners preach in your church. Sinners pray in your church. And you one of them sinners. Prove me wrong. I ain't never going to sit up here and try to act like. No, you're not getting that from me. I know who I am. I know. And he knows. So I'm not going to try to trick him, and I'm not going to try to trick you. I am who I am. Some people don't like me. Some people, my wife, just happen to like me and my grandkids. And that's okay with me. But y'all don't get out here and try to act like these churches are all of that in a bag of chips, because they're not. They're not. I don't care what church you go to. Jim Swaggart. Everybody was all Jim. Look at what he did. All these others. Look them up. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. All these preachers. Eddie Long, black preacher. What happened to him? They try to act like. That's what happens when you start acting. God will shine a light on. That's why I don't be acting. That's what ain't no. If he shine a light on me, y'all gonna be like, God, y'all just showing me. Rev, we already knew who he was. We knew exactly. You ain't showing us nothing there. These preachers get out here and fool y'all and give y'all this snake oil, and y'all believe them, and then drink the Kool-Aid and find yourself dead to the world. Not completely dead, but spiritually dead, because the one that you listen to had led you down an ugly road. And now all of a sudden you find out Jim Baker, remember Tammy and Jim Baker? I don't blame me. Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying. Y'all know what a phony is. You know. But like I said before, if y'all are shocked because of this little girl and what she did, if that shocked y'all, man, y'all, look, there's a place in Mystic Lake where religious folks, there's rooms where religious folks go to gamble because they don't want to be saw in the main area with their parishioners. There is. I'm not saying your pastor is at it, but I'm telling you, there's a place in there that you pretty much pastors and clergy and all this here, so they're not out in the open so people can see them. People are dirty and they hide. And I've said this here. I've said this over and over and over again. Like T.D. Jake hanging out with Diddy. What T.D. Jakes need to be doing up there hanging out with Diddy? This is a godly man. What did he do and has done? A godly man should never be there. But here he is. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Just pulling the curtain back a little bit, looking back there. I see you. Close it up and come on out of there. But so if y'all shocked about these churches that didn't want to help that woman, if y'all shocked about these churches that was like, nah, not us, or we only help our own. Don't, please, people, listen to me. Don't be shocked. That's church. No, that's church. Seriously. That's church. And that's the heart of our people. It is. At the end of the day, that's the heart of the people. That's the heart of the people. And you're wondering why things are as bad as they are now. Because God's sitting there going, y'all on your own. Peace until y'all come together and want to be one. I can't deal with y'all no more. And I don't blame him, man. I don't. We bad. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Anyway, so check this out. But hey, hold on. I'm not saying don't give to your church. I just realized something. Hold on. I forgot. Sometimes I can't say certain things and leave you guys hanging. I'm not saying listen to me. I'm not saying don't give to your church. What I would do is go ask your church. What do you do? What do you do for people who if you come walking up one Sunday and there's a homeless man on your step there, will y'all get a basket and everybody put $1, $2 in, and then somebody walk outside and get that homeless man? That's what we do. That's what we do. Somebody walk out and get that homeless man whatever is in that basket. Do your church do that? Ask your church. See what type of church you're going to. See what type of church you're going to. But I'm not saying don't give to your church. I'm not saying that. Just saying you need to check your church. Make sure you're going to a church that is obeying that book. That if he's going to preach that book to you and you're looking up to that guy who's preaching to give you the word of God, that he's preaching the word of God. He's not sitting there going, I need $50,000. No, I need 20,000 plus one. I need you to get me 20 plus one. But if you got 1,000 plus 300 plus 150, get in this line. You go to one of them churches, you best get out of there. You best get out of there. Anyway, so I was trying to figure out. I'm like, what the heck is going on with these black influencers? Because a lot of these black influencers are trying to come home. And I couldn't figure out what the heck is going on. Right? Because I'm looking at the Officer Brandon Tatum, that coon. So I've been watching him move here lately, and he's been moving, trying to get back onto the black. He actually said some good things about. He said good things about black. That's when I knew the earth was about to. I was like, Jesus is coming tomorrow. I better get my affairs set, because somebody's gonna be riding on a chariot for that man to say what he said. Because Candace Owens, in turn, y'all hate her now. Y'all don't like Candace anymore. Candace stopped dogging, beating up on black folks. And y'all was like, nope, Candace, that's not what we want you to do. You ain't supposed to be talking about Jews. You ain't supposed to be talking about white folks. You ain't supposed to be talking about nothing but them niggers. That's what we want to hear. We need our daily dose of you talking about them how bad them niggers are. We gonna feel good. That gets us through the day. Brandon Tatum, same thing. Y'all use Brandon for the same thing. What's that other cat? Rod Smith. Y'all use Rod Smith for the same thing. So I'm sitting there going, so that what's that little bonehead kid? That kid that's losing his hair? C.J. Pearson. That one, another one. Then y'all got the new dude out there now. What's his name? Jeffrey Mead. Y'all got him out there. But then everybody's kind of, all these black influencers are changing. And I don't know what, you remember that dude, Pierce? What was his name? Pierce something. The black dude that was on CNN years ago, and he was just pathetic. Where's he at? Where he at? Y'all loved him. Y'all loved that black man to death. Right? Another female that y'all love. She was the girl when watch this. So I forget Amika Okafor or something like that. Anika. She was a black woman that the NRA tried to fool black men with. They put her in a bathing suit and gave her a gun. They thought we was like white men. Because the only thing you do is with white men, you give a white woman a gun, make sure she got big boobs, put her in a bikini, white men lose their mind. White men lose, y'all know I'm right. You know I'm right. White men lose their mind. So the NRA decided, hey, let's do this with a black woman. I forgot her name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So they gave her a bunch of hair, they gave her a gun, put her in a dang on, and she only lasted probably about that long. Cause black men ain't like that. We ain't like that. That's not us. She only lasted that long. But then she became this black influencer, black conservative influencer. I don't know where she's at now. But y'all know who I'm talking about. So I'm sitting here wondering where all these black folks at that always ran around here, has everything bad to say about black folks. Where they at? Why ain't white folks on these people? You know, why ain't they talking about them anymore, calling them out? What? Thomas Sowell. That's another one. I haven't heard his name in I don't know how long. Usually I got white people. Oh, well, do you listening to the Thomas Sowell? No, I don't. I listen to Tim Wise, Robin DiAngelo, and I got a new one now. I don't know what that old lady name is. It's Jennifer something. She pissing white people off. She pissing white people off left and right. She's the black Candace Owens. She's the white Candace Owens. Because she pissing these right-wingers off. Y'all know what I'm talking about. She's an old lady. I just found her. Old lady, blonde hair, Jen or Jennifer or Jen, something like that her name is. I'll find her. I'm going to post her for you. But she pissing right-wingers off left and right. So I couldn't figure this thing out. Where them black folks at? Where's them as, you know, and I would call him Uncle Tom, but I'll be disrespecting Uncle Tom's name. So I don't call him Uncle Tom's. I don't call him Coons either, because I'll be disrespecting Coons. That's why I call him by their first name, Jason Whitlock. And then I happen upon this cat. His name is Nick Fuentes. And I figured it out. So now people are like, we don't need these Negroes to tell us what we want to hear, because Nick is unapologetic. Nick says it like it is. Not only do Nick say it like it is, Nick go way out there. So I'm listening to this cat this weekend. And I'm sitting there going, this is their new mouthpiece? Wow, this is crazy. But you know what I like about Nick Fuentes? My grandfather always had this saying. It's better to know where the snakes are in the grass than not know. Nick is a snake in the grass that lets you know that I'm a racist to the bottom of my heart. That's what I like about Nick. I like Nick because Nick lets me know I don't like you, so you have no reason to like me. Unlike all the white people who like to hear what Nick has to say. Y'all swear up and down y'all like me. Yeah, you don't. You don't. Nick, I listened to him this whole weekend. I did, because I was sick. I was laid in bed, and I just listened to this cat just go off. Especially, the one that I really like is when he was talking about the tokens. When he talked about the Jason Whitlocks, right? When he talked about the Marcellus Wileys, right? When he talked about the Rod Smith, the Officer Brandon Tatums, when he talked about these so-called black conservatives, the Candace Owens. Y'all heard that? Y'all look up Nick. I know y'all sitting there going, I can't believe Rev is actually saying, go look up this white supremacist. No, go look Nick Fuentes up. And go to the ones where he's calling out these tokens. And I couldn't figure out why these, as Nick says, these tokens are not all that popular anymore. I couldn't figure out why these, as Nick says, these tokens are trying to dig their way back to the black community. Because Nick has replaced them. Because Nick Fuentes, y'all like, ain't no reason for me to make Brandon Tatum rich anymore, to make Candace Owens rich anymore, to make Jason Whitlock rich anymore, to make somebody like a Rod Smith rich anymore, or C.J. Pearson rich anymore. We now have our guy who is basically saying everything, literally everything we ever wanted to say. Those are facts. After he got off that Tucker Carlson interview, this kid has almost become the number one cat out there right now. If he gets Joe Rogan numbers, if I believe, listen to me, I believe this cat can get Joe Rogan numbers. Because that's how deep. Think about this for a second. They made dolls, black baby dolls, pigtail hair. They had Aunt Jemima cookie jars. They made lampposts with black people. We have been so ingrained into the white mindset. We have. That people like Nick Fuentes jump Jim Crow. They put on blackface and act like us. Was the best thing going. Sold out everywhere. No matter where they went, they sold out. Amos and Otis started off as people are acting like black folks, correct? We are so ingrained into the white psyche and the white mind. Y'all, yes, we are. You can say what you want, but let me show. I can show you. I just told you exactly where it was. When the last time you seen a white doll, a black person make a white doll? Y'all know what type of dolls I'm talking about. Don't act like. When the last time you seen a white person, a black person, you walk in a black man's house and they had cookie jars. You go to these museums and all of this black stuff that they made of us. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Is there a black museum? I mean, is there a white museum that you can go into and they've made the exact same thing they've made of black people, they made of white? No, there's not. Pottery of little black kids like this here eating watermelon. When I went down to South Carolina, when I went to the museum and all that black artifacts was there, people made this back in the day. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, with Nick talking the way he has been, when he's unabashed to his language, to the things that he says, the things that he put out there, and nobody's calling him out. Tucker Carlson platform this cat. And he blew up. But again, I'll say it right here, right now. I'd rather know where Nick stands than for him not to stand. And the only thing I do is I go on Nick's page and I see how many people follow me that's following Nick. Because, see, Nick and I, we don't have the same mindset. We don't. We don't. I don't hate anybody. I don't not want to be around people. There's nobody that if a Klansman come knocking on my door and say, would you like to have a conversation? Well, let's have this talk. But Nick made it perfectly clear how he feels about people who look like me. So I have to believe that people who follow Nick has the same mindset as Nick. Because there's no other way. There's no other way. No other way for anybody to follow this cat. But he has become big time because of the things that he say. And the things he say, and he said it himself, the things he say are as racist can get. Correct? Y'all know what I'm talking about. We can act dumb if we want, but you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube, type in Nick Fuentes, and listen to this thing this cat has to say. I listened like you wouldn't believe. That he's racist. But he's willing to sit here and say, I am who I am. I'm racist. And now I understand why white folks are now getting rid of the Candace Owens. They're getting rid of the Rod Smiths. They're getting rid of the Brandon Tatums. They're getting rid of the Jason Whitlocks. So Jason and all them there black so-called conservatives who was talking all that noise got to go find a new grift. Got to go find a new grift. The grift is up now. White folks don't need y'all. No, they don't. They got Nick Fuentes. And as bad as he is, as bad as it, watch, if he gets anywhere close to Joe Rogan, and I believe from what I heard this cat saying, I believe he can get, probably not as big, but because we know what he says sells, we know that. I believe he can be as close to Joe Rogan as anybody. I believe he's going to surpass. Remember when Alex Jones was all that in a bag of chips? Remember when Rush Limbaugh was all that in a bag of chips? I think he can top those numbers. All because of the hate and the filth for people who look like me that comes out of his mouth. White America is going to make this cat as famous can be. I guarantee you that. That white woman down there in Rochester that thought that that little Somalian kid was black, and she called that little boy a nigger. Y'all almost made that woman a millionaire. Right? Come on now. Y'all almost made that woman a millionaire. All because she said nigger. Not nigga. She probably wouldn't have got as much for nigga. But you put that R on there. For some reason, it's like meth to some people. Y'all came out y'all pocket. Yeah, you did. Nick Fuentes is about to be the next big thing as far as numbers go on the internet. Mark my word. You heard it right here. And some of y'all already know that. No, some of you already know what I just said is true. Like I said, I don't get on here to try to, I'm just telling you what I see. And this is just from listening to him. This wasn't, looking at his numbers or searching him or doing research. This is just, I was sick. I laid in my bed. I put my headphones on, and I just listened to this cat back to back to back to back to back to back to back. And I said, this is the next big one right here, this dude. And this is the reason why all these black so-called conservatives, who usually are the ones dogging black people, and y'all paying them for their service, while they now have to go look for new jobs. Because y'all don't need them. Y'all got Nick. But go listen to him, man. Seriously, go listen to him. Prove my point. Prove my point. Prove my point. Prove my point. I see everybody. So a lot of people have jumped. So again, I appreciate y'all for taking a look at that list that I got here. And if you can do something, man, please, ma'am and sir, if y'all can help me out with this family to go around. One more thing before I get out of here. I got 9 minutes to give this here to you, and then I'm gonna leave y'all alone for the night, because I know I done pissed a lot of people. No, seriously, because I was at a number. I can always tell when I'm pissing people off because my numbers will go down. When I start being right, and people say, I didn't come on here for this Negro to be like tell the truth. I need a good lie. Wrong place. Dig this, though. So, Lisa DeMuth decided to run for governor. And I was like, okay, cool. Cool with it. Cool with it. If she wants to get out there, put her name out there, I have no problem with that. But then I started saying, once she get in Hennepin County, how they gonna sell her? This woman ain't never done nothing for the black community. Half of the people in the black community didn't even know she was black. Only reason we knew she was black is because the Republicans needed to throw her out there and be like, look at here, here's the first black speaker. This is the first black speaker. Y'all hear us? We got a Negro. Y'all don't care? But we got a Negro. She the first black. Oh. But when the Democrats do it, y'all act a fool. Y'all all happy. You ready to throw a parade when the Democrats say the first black this and the first black this and the first black. But we say first black and we get nothing. No, it's true. They threw her out there saying the first black speaker and they got nothing. And they was trying to figure out why. Why don't we get anything? We got the first black. So, again, Lisa decided she was going to run for governor. Okay. All right. Everybody got it right. But my thing is, when it comes to Rochester, black folks down there. When it comes to Duluth, black folks down there. Black folks that's all the way out there in St. Cloud. And I'm talking about people of color also. So black folks, people of color. White folks, some white folks, except for the white liberals, is not going to vote for her. They're not. So if the white liberals are not going to vote for her, that white soccer mom in Maple Grove definitely not going to vote for her. And the black folks not going to vote for her. How's she going to win? Because one of the things that we all can agree on, Republicans are not good at selling their blacks to blacks. Hold on. Republicans are not good at selling their blacks to black. Really? Herschel Walker? Seriously? Winsome? And Even, Wesley Hunt. Dude, Wesley Hunt down in Texas, he like to talk all proper. He doesn't even represent a black district. His district is white. Correct? Think about it. Byron Donald. His district is what? White. Why is that? Because Republicans can't sell black to black. They can't. Period, point blank. Like I said, Herschel Walker. What happened there? Tim Scott. No, Tim Scott district pretty much is white. So all of these black so-called elected officials that the Republicans have, most of those Republican officials' districts are white. They're not black districts. Black people ain't going to vote for Tim Scott. Black people not going to vote for Byron Donald, just like in governor. Like the black people down there in Florida. We ain't voting for him. Not happening. Why? Because Republicans don't know how to sell their blacks to black people. Those are facts. I'm not making that up. So, y'all think the Republican Party here in Minnesota, who have zero clue, when I say zero clue, I mean zero clue about the black community. Zero. Zero. Did I say zero about the black community? You think they going to sell Lisa to the black? You out your... You out your mind. Y'all are crazy. You think they're going to sell Lisa to the Mexicans in the Twin Cities? So Lisa says, hold on. So one of the biggest, watch this. I'm going to show you how tone deaf. I'm going to show you how tone deaf Republicans are. Watch this. This is true story. True story. Okay, I couldn't even make that up. Couldn't make this up. So they put a microphone in front of Lisa DeMuth's face. And Lisa says, oh yeah, I'm going to try to get Donald Trump's endorsement. You're done. Let me show you something. Tim Walz ain't said not one of the Republicans' name. Not one. Not one. He don't have to. Tim Walz do not have to say Lisa's name. Or her running mate, Ryan Wilson. Don't have to say their name. Only thing they have to do is say Trump, 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 and Trump. That's it. And then you have the immigrants, whether they're Somalians, whether they're Mexicans, whether they're Nigerians. They've been coming into play here lately. The West Africans, it's over there in Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, in that area. When ICE comes to town, people lose their mind in Brooklyn, in the cities, right? Because they act like that's the only place that, when they're actually all around. And it's Trump that they're saying is sicking this ICE and making ICE come in, to where even Jacob Fry sit there and say, well, we're going to take care of our family, our neighbors, our immigrants. If ICE comes in, this is what we're going to do. If Donald Trump sends ICE, this is what we're going to do. This is what they got the people in Hennepin County believing, that Donald Trump is the worst thing. And then Lisa turns around and says, I want Donald Trump's endorsement. You know what they heard in Hennepin County? You know what they heard in Hennepin County? You know what they heard in Duluth? You know what they heard in Rochester? Here's what they heard. They heard, I am going to fulfill Donald Trump's agenda when it comes to immigration. What I want y'all to do is pull up the map of Minnesota. I need you to pull up the map of Tim Walz and Harris, J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump. And I want you to look at all of that red in Minnesota. All of that red. And then, now, hold on. I want you to realize that that's a record number of counties that's in red. A record. Right? No, I want you to do this because I don't want you to sit there and go, well, Rev don't know what he's talking about. But I want you to look at the state. Pull up the results of the presidential election. And I want you to look at how red of a state Minnesota is. And then I want you to realize that's a record number of votes that you see there in red. A record. And then I want you to look at the blue part. And realize that even with the record number of red votes, Donald Trump lost Minnesota. He lost Minnesota. Didn't win here. With a record number of red votes, he still lost. Then I want you to go and look and see how many years has it been since a Republican won statewide here in Minnesota. Go take a look at that. I also want you to realize the last time that Tim Walz ran for mayor, listen, especially if you're not from here, probably the worst governor performance in the state ever. Worst. His wife said, I opened the window and I could smell the tire burning. That's what his wife said. His daughter was tweeting out positions for everybody out for the police force. I'm not making this up, man. I'm not making this up. Tim Walz, no clue what to do. The governor of the state of Minnesota, no clue what to do. And he still won in the state of Minnesota. Still won. You would think that there's no way in the world. And I thought that's why I went. That's why I met with Scott Jensen. That's why I was helping Scott Jensen. That's why I was like, there's no way in the world. You can't make me believe that this dude isn't beatable right now. With everything that's happened, with all the ugliness that went down. And a Republican could not beat this guy. Those are facts, people. That's a true story. Look it up. So they decide I'm gonna bring this woman out, who for years, especially the black community, had no clue she was black. She ain't never done nothing for black people. She ain't never spoke on black issues. She ain't never tried to help nobody black. She ain't never did. She ain't nothing. And they got to roll her into Hennepin County. They got to roll her into Duluth. They got to roll her into Rochester. So what did they do? They found the whitest of the whitest man to run with her. Yeah, they did. And the black folks, we was out, like I said, read my tweet. It was like, they ain't got nobody black to run with her. And I had to remind them, here in Minnesota, there's no black Republican officials in Minnesota. What are you talking about? Who would run with her? I don't. Republicans don't try to go and see who's black and who's Republican or who is a conservative in the state of Minnesota. You out your mind. I'm just saying. Prove me wrong. You can get mad at me. You can get, like I always tell people, you can get mad at me if you want to. Prove me wrong with what I just said. Prove me wrong with what I just said. Lisa been passing all her life. She's been passing all her life. And the one time they needed for her to is when they made her speaker. And they ran around Minnesota talking about the first black Republican this, and first black Republican this. And so that's why it's always funny to me when people sit there and go, why do they always have to be about race? They did it. They did it to her. They outed her. If they would have just said Lisa Dothman, speaker first, speaker in her house and blah blah blah, nobody would have ever known that she was a black woman. We would have never known. Only reason we knew because the Republicans outed her. So now they got to try to figure it out. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Like I said, you got a group, a Republican Party that don't mesh at all with black folks. And then you got to try to come into Hennepin County and sell black folks you're black. You can't make this up. I didn't make that. I didn't make this up. I'm being totally honest with you. If you sat back and you think about what I just said, I'm right. If you sit back and think about what I just said, I am right. Anyway, fam, I got to go watch my game. I'm how many minutes over? Look at that. Oh, I was kind of proud of myself. I'm 10 minutes over. Let's end the night like we always end the night, realizing and understanding that we have a awesome, awesome God, a real, real God. He's real, y'all. He's compassionate. He's merciful. And he's a God that no matter what you do and how you do it, he's not going to look at you in a bad way. He's going to make sure that you understand that everything's going to be okay. I got you, he'll tell you. I'll never leave you and I'll never forsake you. I'll never turn my back on you. It's always us who turns our back on God. It's always us who goes down the wrong path. It's always us who don't want to actually give our whole heart, mind, spirit, and soul, knowing that when it breaks, he's the ones that fix it. When your heart is wrapped up, he's the one that's going to unwrap it. When you're down, God can bring you up. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. And for that and that alone, we should be smiling, knowing that we have somebody on our side that no matter what. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. There's a lily in the valley all the time, people. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Period. Point blank. And for that and that alone, we should have smiles on our face. And you all know what I say we do with those smiles. We go out and smile at somebody, so somebody smile back at you. Hey, fam, y'all have a good one. We will more than likely probably see you on Wednesday. Poop, go pack. Peace.